I was orphaned by droid forces, formed in the Clone Wars, adopted by warriors, and trained behind closed doors of fortified coverts, where the armor is forged, where the sad songs are sung of the siege of Mandalore.
Baby Yoda, I be trending what I mean. Is it's hard to not see me in every 2020 meme? I'm 50 years old, I must drink a lot of water. IG-11 tried to take me out, but he got slaughtered.
So I learned how to hunt and found a touch with the biz. Now I'm out looking for bounties, no matter much what it is. I got nothing to prove, even less to lose, save for a mask made of steel, which I never remove.
And I can use the Force, of course, when battling a mudhorn. The Scorpion kids love me, but I'm paranoid like Osborn. Wait, do you plan to leave me with these girls and boys? What does this ball do, Mando?
The ship is not a toy,
a powerful orphan,
a soldier of fortune, running from the law, and an assortment of horsemen, out on an adventure,
whistling birds of a feather.
Two friend-DeLoreans, we're in this together. I'm just doing a job
while I'm unscrewing the knobs,
connected by fate and tracked by dozens of fobs.
We'll keep riding and hiding
till the end of our story, and we were destined to be the very best of friend-DeLoreans. I tried to keep it quiet, tried to avoid violence, when the target for a mysterious ex-imperial client turned out to be a child as alone as I once was. Kept the cash and the kid, and now we're out on the run.
Remember on Navarro how Quill sacrificed his life? I spied the stormtroopers, hella concise and precise. Mando never trusted droids, he should see a shrink, cause IG saved my life and I missed you just like Blink.
Desperados of the Outer Rim, a price on our heads. We'll keep riding to sail, keep setting sights till we're dead. I will honor the creed, the oath I swore to this day, to protect him as though he were mine. This is the way.
And we fit so neatly, everything's peachy. I just realized I can do these next squeezies.
Stop! She's a friend, you'll kill her.
A Jedi and a bounty hunter sounds a bit familiar. A powerful orphan,
a soldier of fortune, running from the law, and an assortment of horsemen, out on an adventure,
whistling birds of a feather.
Two friend-DeLoreans, we're in this together. I'm just doing a job
while I'm unscrewing the knobs,
connected by fate and tracked by dozens of fobs.
We'll keep riding and hiding
till the end of our story, and we were destined to be the very best of friend-DeLoreans.
Good morning, Nerdvengers, Broke Vengers, and visitors to the tower. Chet, run that shit back. That was dope. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. As per usual, if you would be so kind and give it a little love to that like button, just a little tap tap. Do the trick. Actually, I think just one tap. I don't know. Just hit the like button. We'll be on in a little bit.
I was orphaned by droid forces, formed in the Clone Wars, adopted by warriors, and trained behind closed doors of fortified coverts, where the armor is forged, where the sad songs are sung of the siege of Mandalore.
Baby Yoda, I be trending what I mean. Is it's hard to not see me in every 2020 meme? I'm 50 years old, I must drink a lot of water. IG-11 tried to take me out, but he got slaughtered.
So I learned how to hunt and found a touch with the biz. Now I'm out looking for bounties, no matter much what it is. I got nothing to prove, even less to lose, save for a mask made of steel, which I never remove.
And I can use the Force, of course, when battling a mudhorn. The Scorpion kids love me, but I'm paranoid like Osborn. Wait, do you plan to leave me with these girls and boys? What does this ball do, Mando?
The ship is not a toy,
a powerful orphan,
a soldier of fortune, running from the law, and an assortment of horsemen, out on an adventure,
whistling birds of a feather.
Two friend-DeLoreans, we're in this together. I'm just doing a job
while I'm unscrewing the knobs,
connected by fate and tracked by dozens of fobs.
We'll keep riding and hiding
till the end of our story, and we were destined to be the very best of friend-DeLoreans. I tried to keep it quiet, tried to avoid violence, when the target for a mysterious ex-imperial client turned out to be a child as alone as I once was. Kept the cash and the kid, and now we're out on the run.
Remember on Navarro how Quill sacrificed his life? I spied the stormtroopers, hella concise and precise. Mando never trusted droids, he should see a shrink, cause IG saved my life and I missed you just like Blink.
Desperados of the Outer Rim, a price on our heads. We'll keep riding to sail, keep setting sights till we're dead. I will honor the creed, the oath I swore to this day, to protect him as though he were mine. This is the way.
And we fit so neatly, everything's peachy. I just realized I can do these next squeezies.
Stop! She's a friend, you'll kill her.
A Jedi and kind of bounty hunter sounds a bit familiar. A powerful orphan,
A soldier of fortune, running from the law and an assortment of horsemen, out on an adventure,
whistling birds with a feather.
two friend DeLoreans, we're in this together. I'm just doing a job,
While I'm unscrewing the knobs,
connected by fate and tracked by dozens of fobs.
we'll keep riding and hiding.
Till the end of our story, and we were destined to be the very best of friend DeLoreans.
Paul, did you get?
Yeah, I can hear.
Did you hear that song that I was playing? The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
What'd you think? It was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah.
Friend DeLoreans.
That I was actually thinking. I was like, that's you and me.
Yeah.
we're the friend DeLoreans. Through the turmoil of the First Order and evil corporations that try to take over the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu. What's that?
I want to be Grogu, yeah?
Yeah.
Remember when I told everyone he was called Grogu and they were like, you idiot.
Yeah, including
Get
me.
the hell out.
Including me.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. I was like, Grogu? That sounds grow lame. I don't grow think so.
Grow poo.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the morning stream here with Paul from the Heavy
Hello.
Spoilers channel.
How's it going?
Dude, I'm doing
You good?
super well. I'll tell you this. Before we get into all the nerdy stuff that we're going to talk about how Feige spoiled, on purpose put misinformation out or whatever we want to call it. The whole MCU, which we think he did. But before we get into that, I'll tell you, man, a little miracle happened yesterday, and people in my chat will know how big of a deal this is to me. They reopened my gym.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I was able to get in there and actually work out.
Yeah.
And the streams have been getting more crazy the less I was able to exert my, energies and whatnot. So hopefully we're headed towards more chill content with that.
Have you ever seen Rocky before?
Yes.
The world's my gym, mate.
Oh, snap!
Go straight out there running. Have you seen Rocky 4 when he's running up the mountain? That's me.
Of course.
Chopping the wood.
Yeah.
Chopping the wood.
No, yeah, of course. I mean, is that like a across the pond sort of thing or just in general?
Just me.
Like
just
you?
really
Just
hard.
Right on.
Really hard.
Right on.
Anyway, good chat, mate.
Good chat.
Have
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I'll see you.
See you later, brother.
Don't get any trouble over there. mate.
Yeah. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, over the last, I don't know, when did this all start? I would say, when did he do that day of interviews, Kevin? Was that last Sunday, I think? When he sat down and talked to
No, wait. Yeah, when was it? Whenever the screeners went out. I think the screeners went out on
Friday, actually, I think.
Friday, yeah.
Either
and then
Thursday or Friday.
He was doing it, yeah, because there was two lots of screeners sent out. There was the ones for the press to interview him, and then there were the more general ones on the Wednesday that's just gone. I didn't get any of them.
Yeah.
Requested them.
Yeah.
I got told that they'd run out of screeners.
Yeah, they ran out of them because they're all on
yeah.
Bitcoins now. So
yeah,
that's the thing. Like there's only so many, but yeah. So whenever he started doing that, man, he let a lot of stuff out. And you and I were talking before we went live. We kind of think Feige probably shouldn't do interviews anymore, or probably shouldn't do interviews like this anymore. Where
I do agree that. Sorry, I've just realised the camera's on as well. I had the live video paused and I've just been looking at that thing. Why has he not put this camera on? But yeah, I think probably what happened was he just got more drained throughout the day of not being able to say anything at all.
Yeah.
I think, people... The thing is, when you're like in a Kevin Feige position, when you're getting interviewed, you can't give away answers. So all the questions just end up being, oh, so I heard that WandaVision, Mephisto's going to be in it at the end.
Right.
And obviously he can't come out and say, they're like, well, what can you tell us about WandaVision? He's like, it's a crazy wild ride. And that's basically the only thing that you can say in an interview. And you're getting asked that 400 times a day.
Right.
And I think he just got to the point, he was like, you know what, yeah, Agatha Harkness is in it. Everyone's in it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is coming back.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we're trying to get him on the phone. Have you got his number?
Right.
I've got loads of money sitting here for him if he wants it.
Yeah, couple trucks
Yeah.
full. Yeah, no.
And it just got to that point where you're probably just exhausted.
It's probably that. Yeah, it's probably a little bit of that. I think too, the form, and I think this may have been the first time that he did any press that was not in front of a green screen. You know what I mean? I believe. I mean, he's got the beard now. He's got the Himalaya beard, and
COVID beard.
Yes, the COVID beard, and the Feige we saw on December 10th for the Investor Day was beardless, right?
Yeah.
So unless there's Infinity Stone business at work, we can assume the Kevin we saw on the 10th is a Kevin that recorded stuff quite a while ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think this might have been one of the first times that he's actually interacted with like other human beings other than his team. You know what I mean? In a sort of sense where, because like, dude, and honestly, these interviewers, you got to love them, but they did go a little hard because the one who I forget who it was, but the guy was like, he asked about the Netflix characters, and then he basically just doubled down and was like, yeah, and we heard you really love Charlie Cox. And Feige's like, yeah, so it's like, I don't know.
Play checkmate with him.
Yeah.
And that's why you should be giving me the screeners, guys, because I'll just... you tell me what you want me to say, and I'll say it. You want me to give WandaVision a 10 out of 10 for a screener? I'll bloody do it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give me the free stuff.
But you got to wonder, you know what, while we're on that subject, you got to wonder how much of this that just went down was intentional, you think? Because, look, I tend to believe that with the trades and a lot of that stuff, like... a lot of this stuff gets leaked on purpose. So what? Let's go to the Chris Evans thing.
Okay.
What do you make of that story, and especially the fact that it came out the day that they were going to do WandaVision interviews and pressers and things like that? And some people believe that story overshadowed WandaVision.
Yeah, it definitely did. I was just going to wait that day. I do the stand on a Thursday, and I was just going to finish the stand, go to sleep, and do WandaVision in the morning. And then the Chris Evans stuff came out. I thought, I've got to cover this. Sod WandaVision, I'm doing this instead. So, yeah, it did overshadow it quite a lot. Now, there's three people that it could have come from. Either it came from a contact at Marvel, or it was made up, is another option, or Chris Evans' people leaked it. Now, what may have happened in the latter case is Chris is obviously trying to get a new deal with Marvel. So if say Marvel are playing hardball and saying, well, we're not going to give you as much money as you want, he might just say, well, tell his agent, tell the press, make everyone see how excited they are. Yeah. And then they'll give me the money. Yep. So that's that's kind of the option I tend to lead into, especially if they're negotiating out. And if you do know that, and then Chris Evans pops up and denies it, then you know what I mean. He looked a bit cheeky when he was denying it. I thought it was a bit like when Ryan Reynolds denied leaking the Deadpool footage.
I agree.
So I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about?
I agree. And look, that's the thing is, it's so hard because other people read it in different ways. And I had people like legitimately come to me and say, "Look, dude, this dude's denying it. You're wrong." And I'm like, man, that is just so hard for me to try to explain if you really and truly believe that. Look, I've also had some people, and I want to be completely open. Look, let's talk about this. So I believe the story came from, was it Deadline? Who broke that he was coming back? I think it was Deadline. Chat. Yeah, let me know.
Variety.
Or Variety.
Or one of them.
Yeah.
The thing is, they all post the article, and then 700 other ones rewrite the exact same article and just use an online thesaurus and change the words. So it's difficult.
It's all the same. Yeah, it's all the same. But
you'll never learn anything more by reading another article.
But the main point on that is that it was one of the Hollywood trades, and they tend to not break ranks, right? So that's the thing. Like, and I've been sort of teasing this thing out on Twitter. I've been talking about how there's a trade war going on between the Hollywood trades, and you can see this happening with a lot of different things right now. Over at DC, there seems to be even some trades that are sort of more supportive of Zack Snyder and perhaps even of Ray Fisher's claims. And then there seems to be some other trades that are really dug into supporting Walter Hamada, et cetera, et cetera. So I see all this stuff happening, and including over at Marvel, where I believe the Hollywood Reporter, to this day, has still not reported on the Chris Evans report from Deadline, which is, just as you said, odd, because they usually all, juggle that kind of stuff.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah,
they at least took a couple of days. They may have reported on it by now, but the point is, the whole story seems really weird. And so Deadline came out, and I believe in the story they said they are close to finishing a deal, is the report, and they said that Chris would be coming back to the role in much the same way that Tony did after Iron Man 3. And the emphasis in the report was to make sure people didn't expect him to come back to another Captain America movie. At least that's what it seemed like. And so that is pretty freaking interesting. And like you were saying, there's a couple of different options here. You tend to believe that Chris Evans' camp leaked it. I actually am going to go the exact opposite. I think Marvel leaked it, and I think Marvel leaked it to convince Chris to come back. Because I think Chris was going to come back regardless, but I think this deal, that the one that Deadline's reporting on, is sort of a new possibility / opportunity. That's just what I think.
Yeah, I'm not dug in on that Chris Evans thing. I just thought about that 5 minutes ago when we were discussing it.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those three options. Either it's made up, Marvel leaked it, or Chris Evans did.
Yeah.
So yeah. But it seems real.
Yeah.
I don't see why the trades don't tend to. The trades aren't like YouTube scoopers in that we'll report everything. The trades tend to pick and choose, get information from inside sources before running a story, and then that's it. And whereas me, I'll just look at a rumor that someone's posted on Twitter, and I'll say, I tell you what, mate, Deadpool 5 confirmed.
Yeah.
Avengers, I don't care. Who cares if that Twitter user's got 5 followers? I believe them.
Yeah.
And that's basically how I run a YouTube channel.
That's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
No, dude, you're totally right. I would say the thing about the trades, too, is sometimes they get told no, and they will listen. Like, sometimes, the studio can push them around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
It's just the truth. So,
and that, when I posted the Mandalorian leaks, on Reddit, there was a thread about it in Star Wars leaks, and I remember I just read it because I wanted to beat myself up about it and see everyone who was calling me an idiot and saying I was wrong. And there was one person who posted, look, I work actually at a newspaper or a website. Newspapers don't exist anymore, do they? I work at a website, and Disney actually reached out to me and said not to report this. And everyone was saying, like, oh, you shut up, you idiot. And they're like, no, genuinely, they said, don't run this story, please. And yeah, that it does happen.
Oh yeah,
it does happen.
Yeah, it absolutely happens. It's a real thing, and it's not even that conspiratorial to me. It kind of makes sense, right? Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I remember Greg Miller was talking about it when he worked at IGN, and he was saying sometimes they get sent leaks. And the games developer will contact them and say, look, we want a good relationship with you, and we'd appreciate if you just didn't report on this. Yep.
Which is totally fine. And then the person can either be like, well, I'm going to do it anyway, or they'll just say, yeah, you know what? I enjoy working with you guys. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll ignore it.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes into a whole thing, like, where we could spend a lot of time about, kind of getting into, well, what is best for then the more curious actual fans out there, like how do these institutions actually serve the fan base, and et cetera, et cetera. But I think the main thing is you have to sort of read between the lines with this stuff. And we've sort of tried to, I think, tell both of our audiences this over time. It's like, look, Tatiana Maslany just denied hard on network news. It was a late night talk show. I believe it was even the same network that they own. Tatiana Maslany went on TV and said that the rumors were wrong. Like, she straight up lied Like said,
Yeah.
I am not She-Hulk. Rumors like that happen. I've been through this before. I am not She-Hulk. And she
And if
is She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you slow down the footage on that, you could see like a little red sort of dot moving about her forehead. And then as soon as she said that she wasn't She-Hulk, it weirdly disappeared.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, Mads Mikkelsen with Fantastic Beasts, that got leaked.
Yep.
And he said that he wasn't doing it. He wasn't replacing Johnny Depp. And then the week after he was. So you can't trust these guys. And the way that Chris Evans came out and said, I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something of news to me, or the first I've heard of it, or something like that.
News to me, yeah.
Yeah, just seemed.
That's super.
You're
cheeky.
lying, mate.
Yeah, that's super.
You're a
cheeky.
liar.
Yeah, that's super cheeky. I think that's a thing you guys say over there. But I think that, right? Am I using that right? That's super.
It is.
cheeky.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah, because the point is he's saying like that's news to me, like it's news, like it's I don't know, like just say even a straight denial would have been better, I think.
Yeah,
and
that's news to me.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
What do
It's
you mean by
news.
that?
I'll just say, and he walks off, and you're like, "Come back,
Yeah,
please come back."
So
he's like, "Oh, I am coming back."
Dude,
but what do you mean by that,
right?
Chris?
Exactly.
I'm coming back. I'll tell you.
Well, you know
and
what's so funny too is in the lead up to Endgame, right? Do you remember when he said some stuff that was interpreted like he was gonna die and that Cap was gonna die? And
no,
okay, so it was like at an Ace Comic-Con or something, and he said he basically was talking about like his last day on set, his last day in the role, his getting really emotional and all this stuff, and people were like, "Yo, like he's gonna die," and the whole internet blew up, and it was crazy because he obviously didn't die, and it sent us all on this wild goose chase, and everybody kind of missed the fact that Tony was gonna die, and it was, it's kind of interesting, but I think the reason I bring that up is because I believe even back then, the plan was for Chris to come back. Like he was, I don't think he was. He's not going to be Cap, and he doesn't have to get as jacked anymore, which is awesome for him probably, because that tends to be a lot, especially as these guys get older. That tends to be something they're not super into. It's actually the amount of food they have to eat to keep the size. It's not necessarily even the workouts.
It's not even nice food either.
No.
I used to be quite jacked. I don't look at it anymore, but I used to, and it's literally just tins of tuna and dry chicken.
Yeah, dry chicken, meal. Powdered protein,
12 meals a day,
creatine,
and you're just sitting there.
Yeah, disgusting. Disgusting. I remember
because the world's my gym, Yeah,
because the world's your gym. I get it. Okay. Well, some of us need an external place to get in there. Anyway, so. I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think it's possible that they always thought that Chris was going to come back, or do you think I'm crazy with that?
They probably came up with an idea for how he could come back, ran it by him. He said whether he was down, or maybe they just kept pushing for it. I really don't know. The thing is, with Marvel, they think so far ahead.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know how far ahead they think. And whereas DC don't look like they know what's happened yesterday,
right?
Marvel,
they're still not aware. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into that too because
fixing their old movies to release them.
Right, dude.
And it's like,
oh Jesus.
Look to the future.
Look, we're gonna get into that too because Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck are probably coming to the MCU. And the thing I said on Twitter yesterday was semi joking because I wasn't being serious that the Snyder Cut is gonna end with those people entering the MCU. But what I'm saying is like. Basically, Warner Media is going to turn their back on the Snyder Cut, and all those actors are going to get scooped up by Kevin Feige. That's what's going to happen. But we'll get into that.
That would be the power play.
That would be the
Marvel love doing stuff like that.
They love it. So
as soon as the Flash got pushed back, I think Marvel just came in and went right. Well, we're doing that story then. Same with Batman v Superman in Civil War. They were like, you know what? I'm going to bloody do that as well.
Dude, let me ask you this.
Which is fair enough, it's a business.
Do you think Ray Fisher has gotten a call from Kevin Feige?
I really don't know. That would be quite a good power play, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Ray will work with DC again. I think the bridges are far too burned. Even with an apology, I really don't know what can happen next.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I think because it's such a big talking point now as well, that if Ray did come back to DC, that would be the focus over everything. And it's a problem that they're having with Amber Heard now as well. Yeah. No matter what happens with Mira, topic totally changes to the Johnny Depp situation, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
I think the same thing would happen with Ray Fisher. where as soon as they try and have some goodwill about it, it's going to topic of conversation is going to change. And I think it's going to happen with Ezra Miller as well.
Yeah.
I think as soon as The Flash starts to pick up promotion, you're just going to see so many people on the internet bringing up that clip of him choking the fan again. And, you know, sometimes it's best to just step away and just let it breathe. So I don't think that, you know, draw a line in the sand with it. I don't think Ray will be back, which sucks.
Yeah, which sucks.
I really like him.
I like him too.
And I think the Snyder Cut's really going to vindicate his performance as well. I think
Agreed.
Really
it's such
stand
a
out
dude.
in it.
It is very frankly speaking, that is a super fucked up situation because, yeah, dude, like it's so weird because clearly his being ripped out of the movie in the first place is in part what made it into a Franken film. And it's such a weird situation because on top of everything that's going on, like I just don't understand DC fans because like their leadership has failed them. And I don't understand why they're not just calling for like completely new leadership totally. But at the same time, I know there's so much division within that fan base that there are people that don't even like Zack's stuff. So they never were even able to galvanize the audience completely around Zack's stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of arguments back and forth about the Batman with Robert Pattinson and the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get into arguments talking about this stuff on any time you post about it, whereas Marvel seems a lot more united. You know, we're all a bit divided on WandaVision, I think.
Yeah.
But no one's messaging people all day arguing about it. They just say, oh, well, if you don't like it, that's fine. You go on Twitter right now and you type out Citizen Kane is better than the Snyder Cut, and I tell you, mate, you're gonna get beaten up.
Wow.
Which any you mention it in any negative way, and I really like the Snyder Cut, but I'm just saying that's the fan base is very split on, and that's purely down to DC in the direction as well, because they've given properties that we like and want to see the rest of, taken them away and then dropped other stuff in, but then brought these properties back as well. So we feel like we have to fight amongst ourselves.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing is like, what are you doing? Like, I always thought it was so weird. And you know, back in the day I said, you know, what really messed everything up for DC is actually the success of the first Wonder Woman movie. And people are like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, totally. Because that actually was the one thing that prevented them from completely rebooting. And if they had just let that go or set her on her own thing, which they might end up doing anyways now, which is super frustrating. But if they had just done that and rebooted, they'd be fine. They might even be back to business by now. But right now, dude, I gotta be honest, I have my doubts that we will even see that Flash movie. I have my doubts. I think they could that movie could completely fall apart, and I think behind the scenes there are a lot of things that could make that movie completely fall apart. Yeah,
and it has fallen apart so far because it's been in development for years and years and years.
Yep, exactly.
Like Cyborg, it's weird that in some alternate timeline, the Joss Whedon never got released the Snyder Cut, and we had the original slate of DC films. Sorry, Joss Whedon obviously didn't.
Yeah,
there's a weird alternate timeline in which the original vision that DC set out to do came true, and Cyborg got his movie last year, and that's really weird to think about. And the actor's now been fired from it.
Yeah, man, super weird.
And they're kind of repairing and going back and thinking, well, here's the movie we should have made 3 years ago. Have it now. We're fixing all the mistakes in the past.
Yeah, and it's funny because I would love to see Zack continue his work. I really like Zack.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I really like Zack, and I'd love to see him finish his work, but man, I just don't know. Like, it seems like
it's gonna be down to the popularity of the Snyder Cut, basically.
But here's the thing: I don't even think that's. I used to think that way, and I don't even know if that's the case anymore. I feel as though DC is making. I feel like DC is trying to distance themselves. I feel like they've officially had too much. And I feel like unfortunately, the Ray Fisher situation was the reason. I really do believe that. And I'm actually trying to, there's like a lot of other DC people that I'm trying to sit down and talk with, and I want to try to understand it fully. But I mean, as a business, this whole, like the situation with Ray, like, look, even if there were things that happened, like the way things are being positioned on social media, it's like, what do you want to do? Clean house? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. And it's putting everybody in a tough situation. It's actually putting people like me in a tough situation because I'm like, okay, well, I want to defend Ray. I want to stick up for Ray. But clearly, this has become such a thing that you might actually, that the company might just literally say, cut ties with Snyder Cut people, cut ties with Snyder Cut vision, cut ties with that fan base. It's too unpredictable. We're already losing. What's the difference? Cut it. Focus, leverage these other things, allow JJ to come in, let JJ create the new thing, and we'll go from there. Unfortunately, yeah. I literally think that could be what they're thinking.
Yeah, you really don't know with DC either, because they can just do anything at any time. They could announce a Ben Affleck show tomorrow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
The Ayer cut, I think, will be next. I think once they've got the Snyder Cut out there, they'll move over to that. And then I think from that they'll decide. But
yeah, I hope.
There's so much controversy around DC.
Yeah,
there was never any of this stuff with Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson. Everyone just kind of, I think the most controversial thing that was said was Scarlett Johansson wants to play a tree or something.
Yeah,
and then she thinks
is an actress and she could play anything. So
Yeah, and that was the most controversial thing. Whereas DC, you've got the Amber Heard situation.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller's definitely that. It's not a massive situation now, but it will be in 6 months' time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Ray Fisher and Walter Hamada saying that it's a cul-de-sac. And there's just so much controversy surrounding it all that you really don't know what way they're going to go with it.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Getting back into the spoiler stuff, here's the deal. The difference is Feige is leaking and they're slipping up too. And what is happening at Marvel is we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain at this glorious, fucking elaborate, meticulously conceived multiversal array of nerdy splendor. So it's just a totally different vibe, dude. Like, you pull back the curtain from the MCU and you're like, good God. Yeah. Look at all these toys. And you pull the curtain back from DC and you're like, put that curtain back. Ah! Like it's horrible.
Yeah, it's everyone wants everyone dead, basically. All the fans want all the other fans dead. Some fans like the Batman, some fans don't like the Batman. It's just all out war.
It's all out
and
war.
I don't know who's going to win.
It's all out war. We're just going to sit back.
The fans should be winning.
Yeah, the fans should be winning, right?
DC fandom was great.
Now it
was like one of the best events ever.
Next year it's going to be DC Thunderdome, because that's more appropriate for the state of the company and the fan base. Okay, so let's get back to the Chris Evans things. People are like, yo, they've been talking for an hour and they're not even done. Okay, so Chris Evans. The reason I did think he was coming back always was because of Secret Wars. So Secret Wars, damn sure it's coming. Yeah, damn sure it's coming. Don't know when, but damn sure it's coming, and damn sure that they are planting seeds to get there. And when I saw Chris Evans get on that platform at the end of Endgame and have the hammer and a suitcase full of stones, I was like, dude,
oh yeah,
that guy's gonna show up on Secret Wars. Like, that same character is gonna pop up on Secret Wars and be like, heard you could use some help or some crap like that. So I think that was always gonna happen. But Old Man Cap is kind of interesting too, right? So Old Man Cap could be used in a very interesting way as well. So, what do you think about the Secret Wars thing, and what do you think about Old Man Cap?
Yeah, well, he could go, because potentially every time they travel back to the past, they create a branch timeline.
Yes.
So maybe they created a branch timeline that was the Secret War, and that's why it's a secret.
Yep.
And that's what Cap's, and at the end of Endgame, they're like, hey, Cap, tell me about that war. And he's like, no, I don't think I will.
I don't think I will,
because it's a secret.
Yes!
Yeah, it's a secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could easily go off into a branch timeline. And that way, they could bring back other characters who are already dead, such as Robert Downey Jr. or Scarlett Johansson. They can bring characters back through the multiverse and branch timelines. So that would be one way of doing it. I think that is the way they will go. I don't think they're going to old make up Chris Evans for a whole film. I just don't know if it's that interesting.
Yeah.
But you don't know. They could do that.
So,
but I just don't see where else that journey can go from that point onwards.
From the older Cap, you mean?
Yeah.
So in the comics,
he could be.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
He could become like a mentor to Falcon.
Yeah.
And the Winter Soldier. He could pop up in that TV show, no problem.
Yeah.
But you don't know.
Yeah, so that's rumored, and I actually believe that. I believe he will show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he'll show up actually from that other branch timeline. And there actually were some leaks, and I don't know if these are true or not. And we'll have to go back and dig through all the Roger Wardell stuff. But there were leaks about how his son was going to be in the show as well. And they were going to set up some really interesting stuff with Steve. Now, in the comics, after Sam takes the shield, Steve actually still is a big part of what's going on in Marvel. And you've even seen him with like that almost the Nick Fury type gear where he's in shield gear and he's old, but he's a lot more like Gran Torino freaking you know what I'm talking
Clint
about.
Eastwood.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's grizzled, he's old, but he's still capable, and he still has some super soldier serum. And there's even a point where he and Sam come to a head, and they have some serious debates and issues like that. Do you think that something like that could be interesting, or you still think people would be like, what's this old man doing in here?
No, I think that's quite good. Yeah, definitely. And if he is going down a sort of Spider-Man Homecoming route, then that's sort of what Robert Downey Jr. did in that movie with Peter Parker. So yeah,
totally
go for it.
And I think too, with Chadwick sort of passing, it also feels like they could use a little extra star power to sort of really solidify that. Now, do you think there's any of the Tom Cruise thing going on here where he feels as though he has to save cinema and he has to come back and hire robots to make sure people wear masks? What do you think?
Yeah. He needs to save the MCU. Someone does. Because who do they have at the moment? They've got Tom Holland, who's a big star. But beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely... Yeah.
I don't know if they're gearing. Obviously, Anthony Mackie, I can see him being quite big in a couple of years. Shout out to Papa Doc. Sebastian Stan, I don't know. His age, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm saying his age. It's because I watched that The Devil All the Time movie, and he plays like a middle-aged man in that. A fat one.
Oh, yeah.
I think, that's who he is.
I didn't like that movie, dude. That movie was lame. Anyway.
Yeah, it was okay. It was a bit long.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sort of they need a front line guy now. I think.
Yeah.
Someone who sort of brings it all together, because that's what Iron Man did in the first three phases. He was sort of the Iron Man of it in a way.
Yeah.
And he brought them all together. And everything was sort of connected through him. He built a lot of the technology in the world. And I think that they were setting it up for that to be Wakanda. But now I don't know. Letitia Wright's been on Twitter saying loads of stuff. She's deleted that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've been like, maybe you should just stick with Chris Evans.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, with all of that. But there's another aspect to this that I think is sort of interesting. He could certainly come back and get paid and look, it would be massive for the MCU if he came back and actually shouldered like 3 or 4 big projects in the lead up to Secret Wars, or really engaged. But also, I just want to let everybody know that I think an inch can really go a mile in the sense that we're about to enter an MCU where like Deadpool could be popping up in every single post-credit scene. Multiverse stuff could be happening in every single post-credit scene. Mutants are going to get mentioned really soon. Where there's so much, so it's not like in phase 1 where there are like 3 movies a year and that's it, and we need Cap to shoulder, or we need Chris to shoulder all this stuff. That's not true. He could pop up in a few little things and then do a couple of big projects and make a major impact on the MCU. Now, one more thing I want to throw at you before we get off this Chris Evans thing, and I know it's only been 2 hours that we've talked about this, so I think we could go one more. I've been interested, Paul, in the idea of Secret Invasion, okay?
Yeah.
And Secret Invasion, one of the best parts of that story is the intrigue and mystery about whether or not your favorite character is still your favorite character. Definitely. What better way to have Secret Invasion be mysterious if you were to bring Captain America back, but there was mystery about whether or not this was actually Captain America? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's really good. And then you could do the twist where it is Captain America, but that's not what everyone was expecting him to be, a Skrull.
Yep.
Yeah, they are going to do Secret Invasion, aren't they? That I always get Secret Wars and Secret Invasion confused.
Yeah.
And I would tell you why, but it's a secret. So yeah, definitely. So Secret Invasion's the one with the Skrulls coming in, and the war is a different.
Yeah, Secret Wars is like Game of Thrones, well, the most recent one.
Hulk. Yeah, it's that America gets split up into continents.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so basically the whole multiverse, exactly. The multiverse gets ripped apart. Doctor Doom, in a last-ditch effort, saves whatever he can from whatever realities. He puts them all together, mushes them together, puts them on the fring, sticks it in the oven, and 30 minutes later, Battle World is born. So, yeah. So that's.
But thank God no one's watching this, because they might think I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thank God, dude.
But yeah,
no, I agree.
Yeah. So Skrulls, yeah, that'd be good. I think Rhodey's a Skrull. I've always thought that, I think that would be a good way to do the Terrence Howard recast.
Ooh.
Just be like, he was a psychic Skrull. He changed everyone's mind.
Ooh, I like that a lot, actually. Yeah,
and the Skrulls in the comics that can shapeshift, they don't have any supernatural abilities, do they? Whereas the ones that can't shapeshift do.
Yes.
So it makes sense to be Rhodey because he doesn't have any superpowers, but he has access to the suit.
Yep. It's all making sense, isn't it?
Yeah, I figured it all out.
Yeah, we figured it all out. So just be prepared.
Went from not knowing what Secret Wars was to 5 minutes ago to figuring it all out.
All we need is an interview with Feige and we'll figure it all out. All right, let's keep going through all this news because it's way too crazy. Let's get into the crazy thing about Matt Damon. We talked about this a little bit off air. Matt Damon is going to be in... He's going to be in Thor 4, bro. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
Well, he was in Thor 3, wasn't he?
2,
so
actually, right? No, 3.
No,
you're right. Yep.
Ragnarok. Yep. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here.
What's Secret Wars?
So yeah, it's going to be playing the same character, because that would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes, that would.
I don't know, but they have done like recasts in the MCU already, because Black Mariah, who was in Daredevil, big villain, she was in Civil War.
Yep. Her son was Trevor or whatever, right? Yeah.
So they could make it a whole new character. Maybe it's a CGI character.
Could be.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get him doing a voiceover.
So
Groot.
Let's get okay, guys. I have to officially give a big time spoiler warning because we've been sort of dancing around some stuff, but now it is unavoidable. We're going to get into some pretty crazy spoilery stuff. So everybody that doesn't want to get spoiled, particularly about WandaVision, get on out of here. And I'll give you just a minute to. But as
I don't know if I want to stay around. I'm enjoying the surprises. I'm off.
Snap! Oh crap! We lost him. So have you heard anything about the possibility of a certain speedster? Yeah. And have you heard the possibility of who's going to play him? Right.
Evan Peters.
Yes. Paul's the one that did it, Disney. Paul's the one that did it. I didn't say shit.
That's been out for a while. I know. Hasn't it?
I know. But
I've heard that. I don't know. But none of us know if this is true. That's the thing. I don't know if that's true. I've just heard that.
We're pretty damn sure it is now. Yeah. Like the more.
Okay,
yeah,
what's happened?
There's just been. Well, I mean, there's just been more insiders pretty much coming forward to say yes, that is definitely the case.
Okay.
But to be fair, it's true. We don't know for sure. So let's just, let's call a spade a spade. However, let's assume for a moment that is the case. That implies something that Feige is doing with the multiverse that is so interesting. And when it comes to Thor 4, couple of things. Roger Wardell, the new old Roger Wardell that's fake but might be real, said
maybe it's the multiverse version.
Exactly.
Multiverse.
It's the
that sound like Sean Connery there. The multiverse.
It's the multiverse version.
Yeah. Maybe it's the multiverse version of Roger Wardell.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, precisely, right? So the one thing that old I think this comes from the new Wardell account. He had said that you would see a version of the Thor core in Thor 4. Guess what just broke? Daniel Rickman just broke this over the weekend. A version of Storm will be in Thor 4. Thor 4. Now, if you've read Secret Wars, which I know, I'm going to have to fucking give you the comics after this so that we can, next time.
I bought it. That's the thing. I went on like some big binge of just buying comic books.
I wonder if I have my hard
and then they just
somewhere.
Go in against the wall and never get read again.
Yeah, I got my hardcover somewhere. But the point is, O'Hara is a member of the Thor Corps. Storm is a member of the Thor Corps in Secret Wars, and it's dope, dude. Thor, like the power of Thor with the goddess of thunder. Holy crap, really crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. But also, what if Matt Damon is like an alternate version of either Thor or Loki or one of those characters, maybe even a Beta Ray Bill, that will also be in the Thor Corps in Thor 4? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I could see him as Beta Ray Bill, and then that wouldn't ruin the cameo in Thor Ragnarok either.
Exactly.
Because that's what everyone's going to be thinking when they go back and watch that movie. If he's a totally different character, they're going to just be thinking, oh, he's what's this bit here?
Yeah.
It's broken the universe for me.
Dude, I would love if he was Beta Ray Bill. Because he would be so great at Beta Ray Bill because, like,
yeah,
Beta Ray Bill,
it's a big name as well.
Yes, and he could stick around. And he's even more old Englishy than even freaking Thor. Like, you could play that aspect of it up, which I bet Damon would be super into. You know what I mean? But the point is, guys, like, as we look at some of this news and all the leaks and all the rumors and reports, it's important to remember that some of the things that are going on right now are so crazy that, like, if you're saying in your head, like, that can't be true, you should probably not be saying that, because we are heading to stuff that is so absurd. Like, let me ask you this. Why do you think TOBEY still hasn't finalized the deal? What do you think is going on over there with TOBEY?
I heard he had finalized it.
Well,
that was like 3 weeks ago. So I don't know.
Okay, so what report are you referring to with that? The fact that he finalized the thing for Spider-Man 3?
Well, was he not seen doing a costume fitting
in LA? Well? Yeah, in LA. Yeah.
Yeah, so that.
But they're shooting in Atlanta, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
Now, okay.
But does he not live in LA?
He does. Let me tell you something else. Let's add a little other thing to this. They shot Spider-Man 3 stuff in Europe, I believe, at the Cardigan Sheds. I'll have to double check. They shot a ton of stuff. Yeah, I think so. They shot a ton of Spider-Man stuff behind the scenes on the Cardigan Sheds. Okay? And then now they're shooting up until the 18th, which is today, in Atlanta. Okay. And then I think they're wrapping. They're going to wait, for Biden to come in and see what the new restrictions and everything look like, and then they're going to finish up their shooting. But, like, so the only way that they could have shot TOBEY, if you think about when he was seen.
Oh no, I don't think they've shot him yet.
Right. That's
I don't
the
think
point.
They've shot him, but I think the deal's finalized. I think that they've probably signed stuff.
Yeah.
To say, right, you'll be on set this day. This is when you're going to get your costume fitting, and then we'll start getting you in. But yeah, that's what I think. But you obviously don't think that it is finalized.
No. So my gut. Okay, this is what I think. I think he's finalized to be in Spider-Man 3, but I think Sony is looking to sign him to more over there with them. Yeah. So maybe some Spider-Verse stuff. So, like, what he's doing in Marvel, because have you heard the rumor that he will be both Uncle Ben in the 616 and then he will be Peter Parker in the Sony Marvel universe?
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah. And so, again, that goes into that Evan Peters thing, right? So when Evan Peters shows up as Quicksilver, and then Wanda even has, let's say, maybe some memories, and it's Evan Peters in the memories and not Aaron Taylor Johnson or whatever, then maybe we're sort of, I think, being teased as to what all the ridiculousness is going to entail in the next 5 to 6 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think is Aaron Taylor Johnson not going to be in WandaVision?
I think
I've been holding out for him.
I think that he's in it as well, right? Like, but I don't.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. He might not be in it. It might just be the other dude now, and that's Look, there's another crazy aspect to this where that Quicksilver in WandaVision might not even actually be Quicksilver. So it's again, there's like all this craziness that might be going on with that. But the point is, I think we're supposed to get used to these weird things happening, and we're supposed to say like, oh, but wasn't that guy? Didn't that? You know what I mean? Like that sort of effect, I think is intentional. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's a weird world anyway, and then that's going to make it more confusing. So it's going to be great for fans who are absolutely have no idea what's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Throw more stuff at them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
I don't think WandaVision even makes that much sense if you don't know anything about the leaks or the comics in general. Because I watched the first 2 episodes 3 times now, and the last time I watched it with my wife, and she was just like, so what is this? What is this? I'm like, oh, I wonder, in the comics you can create a pocket reality and stuff. She's like, well, no, I don't know anything about that. That's never been mentioned in the films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is Vision alive? I think if you just go into that blind, you don't have any clue what's going on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the show is so meta that I think it's driving some people away, which is totally fine. But again, the thing that's crazy about the show is it doesn't need to be anything other than what it is, because it was never designed to be like, hey, normal normies, MCU Marvel fans that love Endgame, here's something for you. It was never designed to be that thing, right? So it's totally okay. Yeah. But like the show isn't even about the show. That's what's so weird. The show is about, and here's another thing. Why is someone watching the show outside of the bubble? Why is the subconsciousness of Wanda being maybe broadcasted?
Yeah.
The whole thing is like symbol. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. So it's very strange.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like it yet.
Yeah.
I really don't know. And I think they gave us the first 2 episodes for a reason, because they knew that if they just gave us the first episode, people would just be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, agreed.
Cancel Disney Plus.
Cancel Disney Plus, indeed. And that second episode does really introduce some crazy things. And of course, the beekeeper, thing at the end is really, really intriguing. And I think that people will watch this week. It's funny because I think people will talk a lot about WandaVision and then they will just keep watching it. But all the talk on it right now is not super positive, and I can fully admit that. So it's
mixed, yeah.
Yeah, it's mixed.
And a lot of the positive talk comes from people who've seen the 3rd episode.
Interesting.
A lot of it is the reviews.
Interesting.
I've seen that. There are people who like the first 2 episodes, but personally, I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I kind of feel like the plot points from both those episodes could have been put into one, and you wouldn't have lost anything. And by that, I mean, that Wanda's in a fake reality. Someone's watching them. They're sending people in. Vision's alive. Agnes is a nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 plot points that were basically in both the first episode and the second one.
Yeah.
And they could have just been in one episode.
Well, what's funny is I have this feeling that in the same rationale that has led Marvel to try to hide stuff in their trailers and be super close to the vest with everything, that same rationale is exactly the rationale that made WandaVision the way that it is, because it is literally designed to be picked apart. Like, it is designed to be sort of broken apart frame by frame, and looked at in this sort of microscopic sort of sense. And also, I find it interesting that a lot of the context for the show is happening adjacent to the show. People like you and I, you know what I mean, are sort of actually filling people in, which is so interesting. Yeah. So I think it's actually really, really cool. I think we might look back at WandaVision, but maybe even...
Oh, definitely. I think it'll work once we've got the whole picture. It's just people are saying, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And even when I explain it, They're like, what? Well, what the hell is that? How is that? When did that happen? How can Wanda do this all of a sudden?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's real strong.
They didn't send me the screener, but I tell you what, I was still trending number 7.
Oh, my man, nicely done! Boom, boom, boom. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
That's what you get. I had a couple videos planned over the weekend that I was like, I'll get to them Monday. So I kind of took the opposite approach. But look, I am excited for the show. I'm glad you're out there trending and getting people excited for the show. And I'm hoping. I mean, have you noticed? What have you noticed about the buzz? I feel like the buzz is kind of. It's definitely not Mando, right? Like this isn't Mando's episode 1. Yeah.
Not even Mando episode 1, season 1.
Right.
Yeah, it's very strange. I've got people who love it, people who I don't think anyone hates it yet. But I do think that they're unsure. Yeah. And after the 40 minutes of it, they said it was half an hour episodes. It wasn't. Yeah. It was 10-minute credits. Yeah. So that was a load of crap. So you had about 40 minutes of stuff, and I think people are just like, I don't know what this is. It's very meta. I'm 15 years old.
Right.
I don't remember the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Right.
What does this mean?
Totally. No,
Bewitched. What?
Be what? Yeah. No,
What's that?
I know.
Was that band from the 90s?
Right. No, I told. Wait, wasn't Will Ferrell in the remake?
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't even remember. No, it's a good point, man. It's a good point. We'll just see. I think Marvel is. I mean, obviously, Marvel's going to be fine. And in some ways, it's kind of interesting that the discussion is what it is about the show, because I almost feel like they purposely did it, right? Feige was like, I'm going to make this divisive show, you know what I mean? And have everybody, get all curious and, get upset or whatever about this show, and then it'll get hyped. But, going back into some of the other leaks, and we'll steamroll ahead, and then we'll get into Q&A. There was also the Daredevil news, of course, that Charlie Cox is essentially Hundo back, and with everything
he's finished filming.
Yeah, he's done, right? So again, with all these crazy rumors and things that are going on, I mean, like, what do you think about that? Because he's rumored for She-Hulk as well, and he might end up being a big part of the MCU. Yeah,
good. And Jessica Jones is rumored for She-Hulk as well, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, get him on board, bring him in. Marvel's got all these successful properties already. Disney bought Fox for a reason.
Right.
They've got the X-Men. They got the rights back to the Netflix heroes.
Yep.
Bring them in.
Yep.
And people love those actors already. Why bother recasting when you've got such popular actors already in those roles? Like Evan Peters, it was such a good Quicksilver.
Yeah.
That scene in Days of Future Past, that's all anyone talked about.
Yeah.
And then when we had Quicksilver and Age of Ultron the same year, it was like, not that good. And I bet Kevin Feige was sitting there thinking, I need to get Evan Peters Quicksilver somehow, something similar to that. And he's just like, I'll just get him.
Yeah.
We bought him. I'll buy him.
Yep.
He works for me now.
He works for me now. Dude, I know. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Like, and, bringing Charlie back, and, even, potentially Wilson Fisk, of course, Vincent D'Onofrio, and potentially
Punisher.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially even John, right? So, look, when freaking,
Iron Fist,
dude. Well, no. we could find.
He's like, it's like when you went around your friend's house and he was like, "You guys can come in, but my mum says I can only have 4 people in."
Yeah.
Sorry, Iron Fist.
Yeah, only 3 tickets to the theme park. You know what I mean? Like, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Totally. So, yeah, look, it's fantastic for Marvel fans. And I think Feige recognized that he had to give up a little bit of that control and that sort of ironclad canon. Like, there was just no way that was going to work moving forward. So he had to give up. And I think he found a really fun, interesting way to do it. Like, the multiverse breaking allows for them to do so many cool, fun things at a time when audience is, like, in need of new and fresh, I feel, and Marvel is definitely as well.
Yeah. Well, WandaVision, completely different to anything that's came before. And the MCU just gets criticized all the time for being exactly the same movie over and over again, especially the origin stories. Name an origin story, I'll tell you the plot of it. Iron Man, rich guy, goes through some personal trauma, learns a lesson, fights someone with a costume very similar to him at the end, just a slightly different color. Ant-Man goes through some personal trauma, fights a villain in a costume that's very similar to his, just a different color. Black Panther goes through some trauma, fights a villain in it with a costume that's slightly different color to his. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's the same movie a lot of the time.
Yep.
In these origin stories, and they're trying something different, and I appreciate that, but I don't get it. Yeah,
right.
I get it.
Yep.
In a way, but I've had to read the leaks. I've had to spoil it for myself to get it.
Yep. That's such a good point. No, I know it's true. It's true. All right, let's get into Q&A, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna knock through some of these super chats. I'll keep Paul here for like, what do you think, 15, 20 more minutes or something, Paul? You good with that?
Whatever. I'm not doing anything.
Cool. We'll keep Paul here for a little while. Go ahead, drop your super chats in if you want to sort of more or less guarantee your question to be answered. If you don't have any loot, please do not worry about it and just go ahead and throw a question into the chat. We'll grab a few from there as well. Enrique Robles says, hot take, WandaVision, it will be better than Mando Season 1. Holy crap. What do you think of that, Paul?
Maybe. Just depend. We don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I cannot give an informed opinion on that yet because I've seen all of the Mandalorian Season 1.
True.
And it was really good. But then Season 2 came along and I was like, Mandalorian Season 1, it's not that good anymore.
Right.
This new one with Boba Fett in and stuff, that's much better.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, yeah, give me that all day.
Yeah. Good point, dude. I don't know what to think there either. Enrique, that's a bold take. I'll tell you this.
No, if you compare the first two episodes to the first two episodes of The Mandalorian Season 1, I don't think they're the same level at the moment.
Yeah, currently no.
Personally.
Currently no. It's possible. It all depends on that flip in the back half. And it depends on how crazy they go. Because if they really do go full-on Avengers mode, yeah, that is going to be pretty hard to beat.
Well, I've heard the last 3 hours are all hour-long episodes, and they're like movies. They're movie quality.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's really gonna go crazy, and that's what I've heard.
I've heard similar things
beyond that.
Yeah, I've heard similar things,
yeah.
And I'm hoping that's true. And I've also been sort of digging back in the old leaks and stuff, and there's people that are saying, I mean, Wanda might literally create her own Avengers and stuff like that, right? So it's like very bizarre. We'll see, but it's a good question. Dan Larkin says, who would Cavill play, Colossus or Hyperion? Well, the current rumor is that he is being cast as Captain Britain, which is...
That's been for a while, that, hasn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it basically just was reaffirmed by Daniel Richtman. So Daniel Richtman, I believe on either his Patreon or something to that effect, has more or less confirmed that he has heard that, yes, Feige is interested in Cavill for Captain Britain. What do you think of that?
Yeah, good. Because DC aren't doing anything with him.
Yeah.
They're just messing about. Where's Man of Steel 2? Where is it?
Where is it, dude? Like, I don't know.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know.
For how popular Henry Cavill is now as well, he can pick and choose what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And you've got the perfect Superman. You've got... What are you doing? And Man of Steel 2 is not anywhere on the upcoming DC slate. I would just be like, you know what, mate? This company's been asking after me, and tell you what, they're actually going to do something with. It's like getting hired for a sports team,
right? And
then playing on the bench. You don't want to do it.
No,
I want to play sport.
Right. And
I want to play this nondescript sport that I've used as a metaphor for how I feel about Henry Cavill.
Exactly. And the thing is, dude, when you think about it, like at the position that DC is in right now. And they might be able to lay this blame at Walter Hamada's feet and J.J. Abrams' feet, okay? And Feige just scoops him up, makes him Captain Britain, gives him a big role. Because, by the way, Braddock has a great part in the beginning of Secret Wars in 2015. And I would love to see that character with Cavill, do something, not only in the MCU, but then in that Game of Thrones version of the MCU as a Baron or some shit. Would be incredible. As a person from the UK, do you feel like he would be good for repping Captain Britain?
Amazing. Get him doing something. The guy's not getting any younger. Get him doing a good superhero job. If he's not going to be James Bond, then get him doing that.
Agreed. I think that would be awesome. Stevie says, welcome back, Paul. Great to see you guys together again, and Josh is killing my DC hopes 2 days in a row. Happy effing Monday. Yes, yeah, so I was talking a bunch of crap on the Snyder. Not like crap on it, but I was basically saying, like, guys, I legitimately think the Snyder Cut verse could be done. Yesterday.
You weren't talking crap on the Snyderverse. You were saying that Warner Brothers could kill it at any moment.
Exactly.
It's nothing to do with the quality of the film. It's Warner Brothers not doing anything with it.
Which, ironically, is the whole reason that we even have a Snyder Cut in the first place, right? So, yeah.
Exactly.
Vito says, hey, Paul, Lord Vito here. Any news of spoilers on the Power Rangers? And also, who is your favorite Ranger? What do you think?
I haven't actually been keeping up with it, to be honest. I didn't really like the last movie, and then it kind of killed it for me. Yeah. Red Ranger was always my favorite, though.
Rock and roll.
I used to actually dress up as him. And my dad once, I used to do, like, my dad was a delivery guy, and he tricked me into going and helping him on a job once because he said we were going to meet the Red Ranger. So, not a happy childhood. But yeah, did you ever have one of those watches as well? Where it had the face and used to turn it and it would, like, go in and out of costume?
Yeah, and didn't it have, like, coins or something? Like, weren't there, like, coins associated with it, I felt like? Yeah.
There was a Megazord as well. My mum actually spent 3 months looking for one for me for Christmas.
Whoa.
And then she used to get up every morning at 6 a.m., go shopping looking for a Megazord. And they never had them in stock. This was before Amazon. You couldn't just order something online. You had to go looking for it. They were always out of stock. And she took one home, and it was the remote-controlled one. And my dad apparently said, I'm sorry, but that's the wrong one. And she broke down in tears. And she had to take it back. She got me one in the end. But yeah, lots of feelings about Power Rangers.
Yeah, thanks, Vito. You fucker.
I feel really bad.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Vito. You've ruined the whole stream.
But she got it in the end. That was a nice story. But she just had to, she tells me that story, and I think, oh, I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
Dude,
it's like, but it was worth it to see your face on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow, dude. Like, that is very sweet. So that's a lot like Jingle All the Way, the all-time smash holiday
hit. Is. Yeah. Very, very, very similar. Yeah,
that's cool. Well,
maybe that's where she got that story from, and she just made it up.
Well, you know what? Either way, good on you, Mom. Bob's your uncle. Raz Kaleon says, is a Nerdvenger now. Welcome to the Nerdvengers, my friend. CGM Show says the MCU makes Star Wars. They don't need Star Wars. The MCU makes Star Wars. They don't need Star Wars. That's interesting. I don't necessarily know what to make of that. What do you think of that, Paul? They make Star
I think he means Disney there. You think
maybe
Disney make the MCU. They don't make Star Wars. But drop some more money and tell us.
Yeah. Right on, dude. Ha-ha! Dude, that's a total Brit thing. I'm just going to say.
They don't need Star Wars, but they have it. So they're going to make money any way they can.
Yeah, of course.
They didn't need Mulan, and they still made a Mulan movie.
I don't think anyone needed Mulan. But yeah, that happened. John Hicks says, yo, guys, they can use the tech that fixed up Everett Ross's bullet wound to save Killmonger. I think a reformed Killmonger would be great for Black Panther. Yeah, what do you think of that? Because that's something we talked about on the channel a couple of different times. We're all really interested in what they're going to do with the Black Panther character. What do you think?
Yeah, I have heard that they are maybe trying to get Michael B. Jordan back.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I have heard they're trying to get him back because obviously Chadwick had passed away, and I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. Yeah. They're going to need a lead actor. Letitia Wright's had to delete her Twitter.
Yeah,
and I don't know what's happening.
And on top of that,
I would kind of like that though. I would kind of like a villain turning to a hero. We haven't really had that. Loki sort of did. But we haven't had a villain fully becoming a hero.
Yeah, no, I think
Nebula. Remember if any.
Yeah, she's sort of.
Yeah, Nebula has. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Gamora is kind of the opposite now, where she's going to be more ruthless. Because it's a different Gamora. But no, I totally think that would be sort of a cool thing to do. I've thought, well, what if they brought in a Killmonger from a different reality? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Again, like with
Yeah.
the multiverse. So, perhaps in a different universe, Eric didn't become evil and actually is the rightful ruler or something. So,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of ways that they could do that. But also Everett Ross, I'm hoping we get a little Red Hulk and Thunderbolts with him for sure.
Yeah, but even with Killmonger, they sort of did do what he wanted in the end. Not the way he basically wanted to go out and kill loads of white people, or colonizers as they called him.
Yeah.
And he wanted to bring Wakanda to the world. And they sort of did that in the end anyway, didn't they? Because they went to where he was playing basketball as a kid, and they bought that building and did it up. And maybe if they bring Killmonger back to life, he'd be like, "Look, mate, we're on the same team, yeah?
Yeah.
We went where you lived, and we sorted it out for you. So come on, be a hero again."
Yeah, no, I totally, and I hope I might sneeze again, so I apologize. But I think the spirit
That's okay.
of thanks, buddy. I was saying the spirit of. So Eric is an extremist, but his belief that Wakanda has been Zionistic is accurate. So the thing about that movie, and I think what the tone that Ryan was trying to strike with it, was that, look, man. In some ways, the Wakandan kings maybe did the right thing. They viewed the West as children that were not ready for that technology, right? And so maybe in some ways that was the right move. But I think it's also true that especially living or existing in a country like Africa with so much suffering all around you, to have the ability to maybe lessen that suffering and to not use it, it's kind of messed up. Right. So
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're sort of trying to strike a balance with that and thematically how that will, move forward. And now that T'Challa is gone, there's a whole nother interesting thing, because you have to believe there are people within Wakanda that don't agree with the king.
Yeah.
They don't agree that they should open up.
Insurrectionists.
Perhaps. Yeah. And so, especially because
Topical as well.
Yeah. Well, quite topical. And, there's rumors of Namor, Doctor Doom, Doom Wars, Wakanda, Machinations, Secret Shadow Wars, and all these different things. So a lot of interesting possibilities with that moving forward. And I think bringing Michael B. Jordan back in general is such a win for them. They absolutely need to do that. So,
And everyone loves that character.
yeah, he's a great villain.
He won that MTV Teens Award, didn't he?
Well,
Best villain or something.
that way he had one of the flyest scenes in cinema, man, in that art gallery.
Yeah.
And honestly, too, Homeboy doesn't
Get
get
him
it.
back.
Yeah, dude. Well, Homeboy doesn't get enough credit too. The Tolkien white guy.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on Andy Serkis? Dude, Andy Serkis in that scene is phenomenal.
So good.
Oh my
Yeah, he's
god,
really good.
I love that scene when he tells the guy that he can go and then caps him and all that. Yeah.
Make them look like amateurs.
Exactly.
Love it.
Brilliant stuff. Virgil Kennedy with the $5 holla says, could Bucky become the White Wolf of Wakanda if Letitia doesn't want to take up the mantle of Black Panther? Wow. That
would be good.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's an option, definitely. That's definitely an option.
That would be so
I just
wild.
don't know if just in terms of like social
Right, exactly. Like he can't.
conversations, if that's the if basically taking a role off a black woman and giving it to a white man.
Right.
I don't know if that would cause issues socially. I don't know.
If I was Sebastian, I wouldn't even okay, so I'm totally okay with being the White Wolf. I'm totally okay with being involved in Wakanda. There ain't no goddamn way I'm replacing T'Challa as king. That's what you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if I was Sebastian Stan, I'd be like, are you out of your goddamn mind? Like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, that would be
Yeah.
ridiculous. Now, him being the White Wolf, or, again, the multiverse is your answer, because you could bring a version of the White Wolf in through the multiverse that was best friends with T'Challa, that loved T'Challa, that knew T'Challa, and you can do impactful scenes with that character. You can do all sorts of stuff. But the idea of Bucky replacing T'Challa is, I think, absurd.
Yeah. I can't see it.
No.
But
Dan Larkin
they have
says
an option there. They want to.
They do, and I look. His attachment to Wakanda is real. I don't think that you should deny that. But again, Dan Larkin says Thor's series on Disney Plus. Would you like to see like a series with a bunch of Thors on Disney Plus?
Yeah. Get them in. Get them all in. Just greenlight it all.
Greenlight it all. And that kind of seems like what Feige's doing. Will, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now. And then he follows up with a super chat. Says, I love to see the way the channel has grown so much in the last couple of months. Just joined here. Well, thank you so much, Will. We appreciate you around here. And yeah, we're just having fun over here, man. We're just having fun and trying to do our thing. People seem to enjoy it. And so we're going to keep doing it. Jaron Wilson says, is there any significance to Vision calling the guy a communist? Then they give him the gum to make him stop asking questions. Did you pick up on anything with that? What do you think? What do you make of that?
I thought that was just because in the 60s there was a lot of paranoia that people were communists, especially in America. The FBI and CIA used to investigate it. There was a lot of investigations around Lee Harvey Oswald because he was a communist. So them saying that, obviously,
yeah,
it was a joke, but he did seem like a communist, to be fair. His reaction was like when they said Captain America was getting played by Chris Evans again. He was like, no.
Yeah. No, I mean, red baiting and, you know, McCarthyism and you know, some of that stuff is definitely in our history. And I you know, it's possible it was just that, right? So maybe it was just a little nod to the times. But I think there's something about paranoia. And again, you know, getting into that secret, you know, invasion stuff. There's something about paranoia that I do think is going to be very much emphasized in the MCU moving forward. And not just in the sense of like Wanda's reality, but like in the actual world. So I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier will actually deal with a lot of paranoia, machinations, secret organizations, secret weapon programs, you know, all these kind of things.
Yeah. And there's sort of parallels between those scenes as well, because obviously Vision's asking questions and starts choking.
Yeah.
And in episode 1, Mr. Hart, the boss, he's asking questions and he starts choking.
Yep. Exactly.
So, bit of parallels there.
Yep.
Some parallels. I wish I'd put that in my video, but
don't worry, I'm going to steal it and put it in mine next and give you 0 credit.
You should hear my theory on the sword logo.
Ooh.
So Wanda lives in a bubble.
Yeah.
And there's this, it's getting burst. And what is the sword logo? It's a sword in a circle.
Yeah.
So just some of the stuff I noticed there.
Holy
cow.
Genius. I mean, yeah, that's why you got on the trending page, you know what I mean?
That's why the boy's trending. Yeah, but geez. Disney don't want to work with me.
But Disney be hating. It's because you hang out with me. You should probably stop doing that.
Yeah.
Max Smith says, with the $5 holla, how will they introduce the X-Men? Specifically, what are the plans for Wolverine? Nobody knows the plans for Wolverine. There's a lot of rumors. The most recent rumor that I've heard, I think Darcy or Dark Decree or whatever the the heartthrob dude from Netflix show, I think he might be the new Wolverine.
Danke Montgomery.
Danke Montgomery, like I said, man.
Yeah.
And then also there's some Taron Egerton rumors, and then I think Hugh Jackman's coming back for at least a couple Doctor Strange style, maybe some Secret Wars style too. So, what do you heard anything about Wolverine?
Nothing that I would make a video on, just because I don't know how concrete it is. I've heard all those rumors you've just said, but
yep.
I don't know. I wouldn't stake my channel's reputation on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe.
And I'm out here doing videos about stuff I read on Twitter.
Yeah.
From a tweet from a guy with 5 followers.
But, you know, if they only had 4 followers, you know, it would be, it'd be rough.
Big.
It'd be rough. Let's see here. WandaVision is definitely meant for MCU fans and any normie that followed this far. But if you're starting since Endgame, good luck. Yeah. I think that's fair. We've sort of touched on that today. We've talked a lot about that. We both tend to agree. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a bit alienating for people who aren't massive nerds, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
And also big fans of sitcoms from the 1950s.
It is a rather odd pairing, right? It's like like the most hardcore of hardcore comic book sweaties and folks that watch TV Land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very interesting. Fuck it. We'll see what happens. Jonathan Velasquez says Feige leaked to cover leaks about Feige. Yeah, so I didn't want to talk about this too much, but Jonathan Velasquez just, wants me to get in trouble. Do you think there's any truth to the idea that Feige is leaking stuff to cover up his involvement with Star Wars?
Maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know how this stuff works anymore. It's just so crazy, all the news that's coming out.
Yeah.
But it could be, yeah.
I mean,
because it takes attention away from it.
Yeah, and
maybe he's just lying as well. He could just be. Sean Connery, we talked about him before, but he just used to go into interviews and he said he just used to have fun sometimes just making stuff up and ask questions. So maybe he's just doing that.
Yeah,
just and I'm gonna because he knows we'll make 3-hour videos about it.
Exactly. And I'm gonna just tell everybody that Paul is the imposter. He's the one that's ruining everything Disney, so go after him. And I will not comment on such questions because clearly
I don't know.
They're definitely not trying to cover up Feige's involvement in Star Wars. That's absurd, Jonathan. Anyway, Frostadamus with a $1 holla. Thank you. Becky Scales says, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 teased Adam Warlock. Did they drop that story or what? I have a lot of questions. I don't think they dropped that story per se, but I do believe that they will leave that to James Gunn's.
Yeah, he's coming.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it as a post-credit scene and then just completely drop it. So he'd be coming.
Exactly.
And he'll have had 5 years to grow as well.
Yep. He's going to be a big boy.
The time jump. Yeah.
That's just going to be really cool. Michael Wright says, if Keanu was going to be in the MCU, who would you want him to play? What do you think, man? You got anything on that?
Ghost Rider, because he likes motorbikes.
Yes.
He loves motorbikes.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. And I actually hope that is the way they go and that they have it figured out, because that would be really cool. Apparently, Keanu is pretty keen on being Wolverine, though, but I can also see why Marvel would be like, nah, so.
Yeah, he's a bit old, Disney.
Yeah, and also his range.
A massive problem, but
well, he's sort of a stoic, right? So the John Wick works because he seems like a puppy dog himself, and then he just goes to Murder City, right? So he's not Arnold, right? Arnold in Commando was like, dude, who is that fucking guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a totally different vibe. But yeah, Ghost Rider is the fit, man. Ghost Rider would be great.
Yeah.
Glenn Peters with the $10 holla says, do you think if Evan Peters is in WandaVision and indeed Quicksilver, do you think he is now the MCU 616 Quicksilver from an alternate reality? Not necessarily. He might be the Quicksilver within Wanda's reality. And he could be the Quicksilver in other realities separate from Wanda's reality. What do you think about Evan Peters and all that? You think he's the 616 Quicksilver?
No, I think he'll be brought across from the multiverse, and that'll be how they explain it. And then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be leaking all these characters across. That's how I think it'll go.
Yes, exactly. I tend to agree with that as well. He will likely be not the exact same character. So. Mike Motherflipper Porter says, Paul, I appreciate you being here in Nerdvengers Tower, hanging out with Josh. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the love. Keaton Haas with a $5 holla, just throwing in them dope Nerdvengers emoji. I appreciate that. Fanjecture says, give me all the inside scoops you got on Nova. So I think the most recent bit on Nova is that Feige had mentioned that both Sam and Richard Rider were on the table, and that they definitely have plans for both of them. That's the most recent bit.
And there was a poster in WandaVision as well in the episode 2 intro for Nova. Obviously, there was the one in the Easter egg in Far From Home as well. So he's coming.
Yeah. Keaton Haas with the $5 holla says, last week at work, UPS driver, I picked up a package being shipped to Wakanda, Illinois. I had a double take. I thought it was funny. Oh, that's freaking hilarious, dude. Wakanda, Illinois? Amazing. Is that real?
I'm going to go live there.
Dude, I'm going to go live there.
They all go around going like that all day. Every person they pass.
Yeah. Holy cow. I want to live there. That's dope, man. I'd love to be Wakanda forever and people all across town. That would be great. Yeah. Well, let's see. Let me grab a couple of things from the regular chat here, and then we'll probably get on out of here, everybody. Because Fight Club is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's good. Do you think Kevin Feige chose the word mutants because mutants would pop up before the X-Men? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do.
I think you need the mutants first in order to create the problem that this Xavier's School for the Gifted Youngsters then fixes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you kind of need to bring mutants in and say, look, everyone hates these guys. And then you've got to sort of form the school from there.
Yeah.
And say, this is a safe place for mutants. Whereas you can't start off with a safe place for mutants when
there are none.
They haven't really caused any issues yet.
Yeah, so, you know, just to expound on that a little, I think the way they might do it is mutants have been around for a long, long time, but there's never been an explosive growth, perhaps until after the blip or the snap. So we might be in a period now where a lot of enhanced or mutated beings are popping up around the world, and that might get set up in WandaVision as well. Here's kind of an interesting thing that Neon Link says. Vision shouting communist in a world where everyone is probably being used to hold up an illusion gives me Body Snatchers vibes. So, yeah, that is interesting. Again, I think the paranoia, everybody, you know, people trying to blend in, right, play a role, all these ideas are really interesting. And there could be something to that with the sort of, you know, the red baiting and the paranoia, you know, around that time. I don't know.
Well, he had a stick of big red gum directly after that as well.
Wow, interesting.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah, really interesting. Nathan Tattoo says Nerd Vengers times heavy spoilers equal making nerd super sweaties. Or making needs super sweaties. Yeah, man. We appreciate all of you guys. Paul, anything else? Anything you got going on? Anything you want to plug? Or, I mean, geez, you hit the freaking trending videos anyway. I don't think you should plug anything. But no, go. If you have anything,
don't watch them. If anything, don't watch them. I'm sick of the comments and views.
Right.
Get off my videos.
Yeah.
Trying to sit and watch TV.
Yeah. Amen.
And you're ruining it.
And you're ruining it, guys. So, in all seriousness, go check out Paul's stuff, man. He does great work. I like a lot of his videos. He's also made more money from Tenet than Warner Brothers. Which is,
and I'm releasing a Tenet video tonight.
Oh,
so
shit.
keep it coming in.
Keep it coming in.
I'm doing an opening explained. So I've been doing ending explains, but I'm doing an opening one.
I love it.
It's got to that point where I'm milking it that much.
I love it. You need to do an explain on your explain videos, and then we'll really be in the matrix. But thanks for being here, my friend. I'm sure we'll collab again soon. We love hanging, talking from across the pond about all this nerdy stuff. So, yeah, man, thank you so much. And for everybody at home, stay tuned to the Twitter. Stay tuned to the channels throughout the week. We got a lot of cool content coming at you this week. Oh, one last thing I need to mention, guys. I need to double check with Star Wars Theory. We may have to move Nerd Theory tonight to either later in the week or a different time tonight, and it's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Star Wars Theory has some good things going on that he needs to celebrate, so we might have to move stuff around. Please check out the Twitter for the latest on that, okay? All right, everybody, as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and we will see you in the next video.